Welcome to the Players to Watch episode for Gameweek 36. First up is Gabriel Jesus. After returning from injury against Man United in Gameweek 34, the Brazilian international earned a recall to the starting lineup for Man City's trip to Middlesbrough in Gameweek 35. Jesus marks his return with a late goal to see his side rescue a point from the game. The Manchester City forward has now made 6 appearances in the Premier League, but has completed 90 minutes just 3 times, averaging around 50 minutes per game. Despite the lack of game time, Jesus has still been directly involved in 5 Premier League goals, scoring 4 times himself and providing 1 assist. In terms of underlying stats, the tally of 5 shots on target managed by Jesus during his 6 appearances is on par with the amount managed by Alexis Sanchez, Romelu Lukaku and Dele Alli in their last 6 games. Gabriel Jesus has taken a total of 13 shots from inside the area during his 6 appearances. In the last 6 game weeks, only 5 forwards have managed more: Negredo, Defoe, Costa, Benteke and teammate Sergio Aguero, who's managed an impressive 25 shots from inside the area during their last 6 game weeks. However, after appearing to suffer a groin injury during the 2-2 draw with Middlesbrough, Aguero will now need a scan to determine whether he can take part in any of Man City's 4 remaining games. The Argentine's absence would further cement Jesus in Man City's starting lineup. In Gameweek 36, Man City host a Crystal Palace side that have now suffered back-to-back defeats, following a 2-0 loss against Burnley last weekend. Big Sam's men have conceded 9 goals during their last 6 games. Only Everton, Sunderland and Middlesbrough have conceded more over that period. The next player to watch is Alexis Sanchez. Arsenal suffered a 2-0 defeat to Spurs in Gameweek 34, which saw Alexis Sanchez continue his poor run of FPL returns. The Arsenal midfielder has now scored just 1 goal from his last 6 Premier League games. Despite his poor returns, Sanchez is still getting a good number of goal-scoring chances. He's taken a total of 16 attempts on goal during the last 6 game weeks, which is more than any other Arsenal player. For comparison, Mesut Ozil has produced just 3 goal attempts during this period. Even the informed Dele Alli has only managed 1 more goal attempt than Sanchez during the last 6 game weeks. In fact, the 5 shots on target managed by the Arsenal man during this period is level with Dele Alli, though the Spurs midfielder has scored 3 goals compared to the 1 goal managed by Sanchez. With back-to-back double game weeks on the horizon for Arsenal, the Chilean international will have an advantage in the closing weeks of the season. Whether Sanchez can turn those extra minutes and extra goal-scoring chances into goals is another matter, but it would take a brave FPL manager to go without the current top point scorer in FPL for this period. First up in Gameweek 36, Arsenal will take on a Man United side that are very much focusing on the Europa League, and have used a heavily rotated lineup for their recent Premier League matches, most recently seeing them draw 1-1 with Swansea. Following that, it's an away trip to Southampton for Wenger's side. Saints have failed to win any of their last 3 Premier League games, conceding 7 goals during defeats to Man City and Chelsea, before being held to a 0-0 draw by Hull last weekend. Next up is Eden Hazard. The Chelsea midfielder provided an assist during the 3-0 win over Everton in Gameweek 35 to see his incredible run of form continue. He's now been directly involved in 6 goals during his last 6 games, scoring 4 times himself and providing 2 assists. During the last 6 game weeks, only Gylfi Sigurdsson, Heung-min Son and Christian Eriksen have taken more shots on target than Hazard, amongst midfielders. Meanwhile, the Belgian is ranked 2nd for assist potential during this period, behind only Christian Eriksen, who's produced 21 attempted assists during their last 6 game weeks. Chelsea and Spurs continue to fight it out in the race for the Premier League title, with only 4 points separating the 2 sides at present, meaning that there will still be plenty of motivation for Hazard and Chelsea in the remaining games of the season. In Gameweek 36, Chelsea host a Middlesbrough side that sit 19th in the Premier League table, but have made a late surge to try and get out of the relegation zone, taking 4 points from their last 2 games against Sunderland and Man City. Despite that, however, no team have conceded more goals than Middlesbrough during their last 6 game weeks. And the final player to watch for this game week is Willy Caballero. Man City's first choice goalkeeper Claudio Bravo suffered a calf injury during the goalless draw with Man United in Gameweek 34, which looks set to rule him out for the rest of the season. In Bravo's absence, Willy Caballero is expected to deputise in goal for the 3 remaining game weeks, where Man City will face home games against Crystal Palace, Leicester and West Brom, as well as an away trip to Watford. Prior to the 2-2 draw with Middlesbrough in Gameweek 35, Man City had kept back-to-back clean sheets against Southampton and Man United. During their last 6 game weeks, only 5 teams have conceded fewer goals than Man City. In his last 6 starts in the Premier League, Willy Caballero picked up clean sheets against Sunderland and Stoke and conceded just 7 goals despite facing Chelsea, Arsenal and Liverpool during that run. In Gameweek 36, Man City host a Crystal Palace side that seemed to have lost a bit of momentum, having now suffered back-to-back defeats against Spurs and Burnley. Big Sam's men had previously put together a good run, but their tally of 8 goals scored during their last 6 games isn't particularly impressive, and sees them ranked joint 9th for goals scored over that period.